Plain, Honest Men, The Making of the American Constitution, 2009, a work of North American political nonfiction by historian Richard Beeman, chronicles the events that led to the drafting of the U.S. Constitution and the men who made it happen. The book received the 2010 George Washington Book Prize and was widely praised. Beeman, a noted American historian and biographer focused on the Revolutionary era, served as the John Walsh Centennial Professor of History at the University of Pennsylvania and authored several influential nonfiction works. Set in Philadelphia during the summer of 1787, Plain Honest Men follows a group of wealthy and powerful delegates who gathered at the Pennsylvania State House with a single goal: to unify the fractured states following a long and difficult war. Their task was complex, and the outcome far from certain. One of the most contentious issues confronting them was slavery. As Beeman explains, many representatives understood that slavery was incompatible with a peaceful and free society. However, this was not a majority view. The book underscores the deep contradiction at the heart of the new Union. Slavery could not be abolished without threatening its fragile foundation. Beeman presents the Constitution not as a flawless triumph, but as the best compromise possible among many conflicting interests. He explores the ideologies and motivations of the 55 delegates, examining both their formal deliberations and the behind-the-scenes negotiations that occurred in taverns and inns across Philadelphia. He argues that the true heart of the Constitution's creation lay in these informal settings, where uneasy alliances were forged and broken out of the public eye. At its core, the Constitution reflects the belief that politics and intellect are not mutually exclusive. The framers saw themselves as both political operatives and intellectual leaders, determined to create a government that functioned not just in theory, but in practice. Achieving this required imagination, passion, reason, and persistence. Beeman draws attention to the many challenges the Founding Fathers faced, including the impracticality of centralized government in a nation where communication was slow and unreliable, and where citizens in distant regions struggled to feel connected to a unified national identity. Central to the Constitution were the ideas of democracy, executive power, and federalism. Beeman points out that most of the Founding Fathers were Republicans, not Democrats. They rejected the idea of monarchic authority and were wary of concentrating power in a single executive. They wanted a representative system, but it was unclear how best to achieve that. Some argued that a small group of elected officials couldn't adequately represent the public good. Others believed it was the only viable solution to ensure majority satisfaction. One of the book's most powerful themes is the irony of founding a nation on liberty while preserving slavery. Beeman argues that many delegates were unhappy with the compromises made on slavery, but few could envision a way to eliminate it without fracturing the new Union. Some, perhaps naively, hoped the problem would resolve itself in time. The Constitution, Beeman insists, was never meant to be a perfect document. It was a starting point. The delegates were navigating uncharted political territory, and the long-term success of the nation remained uncertain. From the beginning, Americans have debated the meaning of the Constitution. There was no manual for interpreting it then, and disagreements over its meaning continue today. Beeman views the Constitution as a living document, open to debate and amendment. But he also cautions that these debates must stay grounded in the document's original purpose: unity in a divided land. As long as Americans interpret the Constitution with the ideals of equality and unity in mind, Beeman argues they are honoring its true spirit. In the book's introduction, Beeman describes Plain Honest Men as a reflection of his deep patriotism. He believes the American Constitution stands as one of the most enduring and effective frameworks of governance in the world. Its strength lies in its resilience, adaptability, and success, qualities other nations can learn from. Most importantly, he emphasizes that the Founding Fathers placed the future of the nation above their own ideological divides. That, Beeman concludes, is a lesson worth remembering whenever the Constitution is critiqued or revised. Thank you for watching. If you enjoy this video, leave a like and subscribe.